Avodah Zara, page number 59. You can see all the progress we've done over all these days inside the daily tidbits here of the Daf Yomi. I've got just over 2 weeks to go till the Siyum of Masechet Avodah Zara. So making fantastic progress and fantastic achievements, but wanted to continue where we left off on. We spoke yesterday, we're on page number 58, and today we're on page number 59. So on today's one, we're going to talk about the consequences of offering, God forbid, Jewish wine to, let's say, non-Jewish gods. This is what a tidbit from Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz from his excellent notes. But I want to speak about also today about something that came in the previous page on Amud Bet, which I think Rabbi Moshe Newman from Or Sameach actually brings down. First of all, he says, there's a statement in the Talmud that says, Rabbi Yochanan said, go, we tell a Nazir, around, don't come near the vineyard. So what's this about, friends? I want to start off on this, just because it's sort of to tie into the previous one. Even when there is no Torah provision against doing a particular act, our rabbis sometimes enacted a decree to forbid certain actions in order to prevent a person from transgressing a Torah command. Now, although the Torah does not forbid a Nazir from entering a vineyard, the Rabbi Yochanan taught that we tell him not to enter. Now, we've spoken about this, the important levels that a Nazir actually has to go to when, in their Nazrite status, how careful they've got to be not to succumb to their desires for wine or so on and so forth. And that very much is illustrated over here in this point over here. Because obviously, since he's not allowed to eat the fruits of grapevine, he might come to eat from the forbidden fruits there, even if he does so, let's say, unwittingly. So Rabbi Yochanan's sage, let's say his advice here is that a Nazir should be told to stay away from a vineyard, even if this is going to involve inconvenience, let's just say, such as going around the vineyard instead of taking a shortcut through it. So one's got to take all precautions. As one might easily imagine, this teaching may find practical application in making smart and correct choices, obviously in our daily lives. Even if the rabbis, let's say, did not make a special enactment in a particular case, it might well be, let's say, a tip, as Rabbi Moshe Newman says from the Talmud, and perhaps even halacha to avoid certain situations, to put ourselves on these things. Now, we're talking about that, and as we creep into today's page of the Gemara, the concept of offering Jewish wine to non-Jewish gods, let's just say over here, obviously, God forbid there's none, it seems so far-fetched, right? If someone's going to break so many barriers, and we know the concept in Pirkei Avot, Aveira Geret Aveira, a transgression will lead to another transgression over here. So what's going on here over here? So obviously this concept of offering Jewish wine to the other gods in itself, we obviously have learned that a non-Jew, Gentile, who will touch the wine, and certainly one, let's say, God forbid, who will libate it in honor of that deity, the pagan deity, will make it forbidden for the Jewish person to benefit from it. What if the non-Jewish person does this on purpose? Over here, that's a question in today's page. Rav Ashi rules that in such a case, although it cannot be sold to another non-Jew, nevertheless he can demand that the Gentile who poured the wine must pay him for it, as though, let's say, he had burned it over here. That is to say, he is not paying to purchase the wine, rather he must pay for the damage that he did over here. There's that importance, let's just say, of that specific criteria in of itself. Now, Rav Ashi is going to weigh in and explains that his source for this ruling is following Baraita over here. Now, if, let's say, an idolater offered wine of a Jewish person as a libation, not in the presence of the idol, it will be prohibited. But Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava and Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera permit it for two specific reasons. Firstly, because wine can be rendered yain nesach, which is spoken about before, only in the presence, let's say, of an idol. And secondly, because the owner can say to him, you have no right to make my wine prohibited through no fault of my own. That's what he could actually specifically stipulate, let's just say, over there. And we go on over here. And so the commentators, the great rabbis, are going to explain how this Baraita supports Rav Ashi's ruling. Given that neither of the two opinions that appear in it seem to lead to his conclusion, according to the first Tana, the wine is forbidden entirely, while according to the second opinion, it can be sold to a different non-Jew as well. Now, another great commentator called the Re'eh, he's going to explain that Rav Ashi is following the second ruling of the Mishnah, since the reasons offered by Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba and Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera would permit it to be sold to another Gentile only on a Torah level, Midoraita level, in theory the sages should forbid such a sale, although they permit it to the individual who caused the problem. Now, the Ramban is going to argue and weigh in over here that Rav Ashi's ruling follows the opinion, let's just say, or the first Tana, according to whom the libation was a true act of idol worship, and the wine is totally forbidden, which is why the owner can demand payment from the Gentile for the damages. Now, had the wine been permitted to be sold, the Gentile could have argued that he did not truly do damage to the Jew, since he could, let's say, sell the wine over here. There was that opportunity over there, so it wasn't that could destroy the notion that was his intention, and so on and so forth. So very, very interesting tidbits over here. There's excellent notes on the internet, especially from Rabbi Moshe Newman on the ohr.edu website, and Rav Adon Science and the Orthodox Union website. Next tidbit in page number 60, just to give a sneak preview, we're going to speak a little bit about sophisticated wine presses. So many people have been to wineries. We on this channel itself, I think, visited a few wineries over the last year. So we're going to talk about let's just say, a sophisticated wine press in tomorrow's page inside the Gemara. So very interesting. We're already coming close to 8.5 weeks of the Daf Yomi tidbits on Masechet Avodah Zara. And remember, it's like this tractate is like an encyclopedia, you could say, on different case scenarios, God forbid, that might be pertaining to, or you could be saying it's connected to idol worship, and how to stay away from it, what's the different scenarios about it, what different types is, what is the object itself, or the place, can that cause the damage? That's what we're speaking all about, those different varying things. So please watch over all the videos that we're doing here on the daily tidbits, and every day we are doing a tidbit on a specific daf, a specific page in of itself. And please, we also do a lot of videos. We also record tours all over Israel. We try and go around and do different sightseeing. We try to record with other great Jewish personalities of modern day. We also are like an online encyclopedia where we are exploring the history within regards to the great rabbis from Oriental countries. We are trying to do on, and go in depth also and look at different yeshivot that there were of yesteryear in various different parts of Israel, of the diaspora. We try and concentrate on the rabbis, just to go back to it, from the various different Ottoman countries we try and look at, and so on and so forth. We at the great places from the North African countries. Also, we try and delve inside and the various different Spanish vicinities in of itself. So we're making fantastic progress. So, join the channel, enjoy, and we're here to inspire and, really take this onto another level. So I appreciate all the fantastic feedback that there's been. And this week we are actually coming into Parashat Ekev. We're in the third Torah portion in the book of Devarim this Shabbat that is coming. So that's also very exciting. So on that note, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom Mubarach. Take care. Actually recording this from the city of Bet Shemesh. If anyone is coming to visit Israel at any stage of time, or if you live in Israel and you're coming to visit Bet Shemesh, send me a comment. It will be great to meet up with you. Great to hear feedback, and maybe we could even record over different parts of Israel and see different sides of Eretz Israel, and enjoy so much the spirit and the air. And it's actually interesting. I think we learned in one of our tidbits, if we go back, I think it was about a year ago in Masechet Kiddushin, that one of the things that brings wisdom onto the person, it's not just learning Torah, how important it is. They say Talmud, learning Gemara every single day, sharpens the minds of people. I think it was in Masechet Kiddushin, it says, even the air of Eretz Yisrael, of the land of Israel, especially if one is dwelling in Jerusalem over there, there's 9 portions out of 10 wisdom in the world comes from the air, I believe, of Jerusalem, if I'm not mistaken. So how great it actually happens to be, just Torah Eretz Israel, and so on and so forth. We have to point that out also. So that is very interesting. Now, if you go on the channel, you'll see the various different playlists. You'll see for every different Daf Yomi. We started this series on Masechet Ketubot. I think we started it about just over nearly 3.5 years ago. We covered Masechet Ketubot. We've also recorded videos on Masechet Nedarim. Did Nazir, which we just spoke about today. We went back on that. We did Masechet Sota. We did Masechet Gitin. We did also Masechet Kedushin. We did the three Babas also in this series: Baba Batra, Baba Kama, Baba Metzia. We were able to go through there, which is a phenomenal achievement. Then we did Sanhedrin and Masechet Shavuot also. We did, this was also a Masechet Makot, we did just around Pesach time period, which is also phenomenal. Now we have, basically we have started off, at the moment, we're towards the latter part of Masechet Avodah Zara, which is absolutely phenomenal achievement. So on that note, I'm going to wish you all a great day. Thank you everyone for watching and take care. Appreciate it. Thanks.